Hello students, welcome back to the economics class of plus 2 standard. We were working with lesson number 12, money and banking, and we have discussed the topics right now, that is money, different kinds of money and functions of money. Today we will discuss the topic commercial bank and its functions. Let us discuss some key terms related to the topic: check, overdraft, recurring deposit, fixed deposit, debentures. First key term is check. This is a check that is used to transfer money from one account to another. This is a check of HDFC Bank. In the pay column, I will fill the address of a person to whom I have to transfer the money, and in the rupees column I will fill the amount of money that I have to pay in words, and here I will fill the amount of money in numbers. Here I will fill the account number. These checks you people are also used to pay the school fee, and the institutions also use these checks to pay the salaries, pension. So a check is an instrument in writing address to a banker signed by a person who has deposited money with the banker, requiring him to pay on demand a certain sum of money to him. Overdraft. Overdraft facility, it is enjoyed by the person who is having a current account with the bank. In this overdraft facility, if the person is having zero balance in his account, in spite of that he can continue withdrawing money from his account. So current account holders enjoy this facility of overdraft. Customer can withdraw money over and above the balance in his account. The act of overdrawing from a bank account is overdraft, an extension of credit from a lending institution when an account reaches zero. An overdraft allows the individual to continue withdrawing money even if the account has no funds in it. Recurring deposit. Recurring deposit means when we are agreed to deposit money to the bank in our recurring deposit account, a fixed amount of money for a fixed period of time. Suppose I have started my recurring deposit account for 1000 rupees on May 1st, 2020 for 1 year. So my maturity period it is 1st June 2021. On 1st June 2021, HDFC Bank will transfer my amount with interest into my saving account. So it means that to start with the recurring deposit account, firstly we have to maintain the saving account with the bank. So in these accounts, depositor make a regular deposit of an agreed amount over an agreed time period. For example, rupees 1000 per month for the 3 years. A higher interest rate is offered on such deposits than saving account deposits. These deposits are accepted at a regular interval for a fixed time period. Debentures. Debenture means interest bearing bonds that is issued by a power company or Reliance company or Tata Motors is the examples of debentures. So debenture is a long term bond issued by a company or an unsecured loan that a company issues without a pledge of assets. Without a pledge of assets means without any mortgage. Commercial bank. Commercial bank play an important role in the modern economic system. They promote savings by giving good interest and the source of credit for trade and industry. And from the deposited amount, the commercial banks advance loans to the industries and to the household. Next one is they create credit in the sense that they are able to give more loans and advances than their cash reserves. A commercial bank is a financial institution which accepts deposits from the public and give loans for the purpose of consumption and investment. Essential functions of commercial bank. There are two essential functions that a financial institution must perform to become a commercial bank. First one is these are acceptance of demand deposits that have a check facility, and second is lending. Acceptance of check deposits is necessary but not a sufficient condition for a financial institution to become a commercial bank. For example, post office savings. Banks are not banks even though they accept checkable deposits from the public. This is because they do not perform the function of lending. Similarly, lending alone does not make the financial institutions bank. Many financial institutions like LIC, UTI, IDBI lends to others, but they are not banks as they do not accept checkable deposits from the public. At the same time, they do not create money. Joint stock banks or the commercial banks. State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Allahabad Bank, Canara Bank, all these banks are the commercial banks of India. Commercial banks are also called joint stock banks as they advance short-term loans to the businessmen and the traders. In the process of accepting deposits and extending loans, commercial banks creates demand deposits, also means current deposits. Features of commercial bank. First feature is it accepts deposits from the public. These deposits can be withdrawn by checks and are repayable on demand. Whenever the depositor having a requirement of money, they can withdraw the money. A commercial bank uses the deposit money for lending or for investment in securities. It is a commercial institution whose aim is to earn profit also. So it charges high-fi rate of interest for the lendings by the borrowers and pay much less rate of interest to the depositors. It is a unique financial institution that creates demand deposits which serves as a medium of exchange. Functions of commercial bank. The functions of commercial bank can be divided into three main groups. First one is primary function, agency function, general utility function. First is primary functions. There are two primary functions of commercial banks. First one is accepting deposits and second one is lending. Accepting deposits. The primary function of every commercial bank is to accept the deposits from the public. They accept the deposits from each and every source, from each and every class also. To attract savings, the banks accept mainly three types of deposits. First one is demand deposits, that is current deposits, saving deposits, and then fixed deposits. Let us discuss demand deposits, which is also known as current deposits. Demand deposit, it is mainly for the business purpose. No restriction on the number or the amount of withdrawals in this account. Anytime I can withdraw my money and anytime I can deposit my money. There is no problem with the banks. Deposits to be paid on demand and no interest it is given. So demand deposits are also known as current deposits. These deposits can be withdrawn by the depositor at any time by means of checks or otherwise. These deposits are payable on demand, so called demand deposits. These can be withdrawn by the number of times. No interest is paid on such deposits. Bank will not pay any interest on such deposits. Rather, the depositor has to pay something to the bank for the services rendered by it. These deposits are made by businessmen to carry out their day-to-day transactions. These accounts in which they are deposited are called current accounts. There is no restriction on the quantity of money to be kept in these accounts. Saving account deposits. Saving account deposits are those deposits on the withdrawal of which bank places certain restrictions. Check facility is provided to the depositor. Saving account deposits are generally held by the households who have idle money or surplus money for a short period of time. Minimum balance needs to be maintained in saving accounts. If the average balance falls short of the minimum, banks charge a penalty from the account holder. Minimum balance, it differs from bank to bank. In HDFC it is minimum balance limit in the saving account, it is 10,000. In Bank of Maharashtra it is rupees 2,000 minimum balance should be there in your saving account. Central Bank of India is also having a limit of 2,000 rupees in your saving account. So this amount differ from banks to banks. Because of certain restrictions, saving deposits are less fluctuating. Like in a month, for a limited time you can withdraw money. Then current account deposits. But in current account deposits, no limits are there. For any time you can come and withdraw money and you can deposit the money with the banks. Hence, banks offer some interest on the saving accounts, but on the current account there is no interest. What is a fixed deposits? Now let us discuss. Suppose I want to start my fixed deposit with the HDFC Bank on the date 1st May 2020 and maturity period I want 1 year. So after 1 year, that is on 1st June 2021, my fixed deposit tenure it will be over and I will get my maturity amount with interest in my saving account. So fixed deposit or the term deposits are those deposits which can be withdrawn only after the expiry of the certain fixed period. Say this fixed period can be of 6 months, 1 year or 3 years. Fixed deposits are maintained both by firms and households. The rate of interest offered on term deposits depend on the time period. The longer the time period, the higher will be the interest rate. If a fixed deposit is broken before the date of maturity, the depositor will have to forego some interest. No check facility is available on these deposits. So that is why fixed deposits cannot act as a medium of exchange like demand deposits. Recurring deposit. Recurring deposit are also fall under the category of fixed deposits because for a fixed period of time we have to deposit a fixed amount every month for 1 year or 2 years in our recurring deposit account. Suppose I have deposited 5,000 rupees per month for the 3 years in my recurring deposit account. After the 3 years, I will get my amount with interest back in my saving account. So to maintain the recurring deposit account, we have to maintain our saving account also with the same bank, that is HDFC. So recurring deposits are also fall under the category of fixed deposit. In these accounts, depositor make a regular deposit of an agreed amount over an agreed time period. For example, rupees 5,000 per month for the 3 years. Like term deposits, a higher interest rate is offered on such deposits than saving account deposits. However, recurring deposits are different from fixed deposits. These deposits are accepted at a regular interval for a fixed time period. Regular interval like 1 month in a recurring deposit. After every month we have to deposit a fixed amount for a fixed period of time. Fixed deposits on the other hand are accepted by the bank at a particular point of time. Recurring deposits promote saving habits among the people, whereas deposits are beneficial for those who have surplus funds for some time period. Let us discuss the difference between demand deposit and fixed deposit. Demand deposit. First one is, it is payable on demand either through check or otherwise. In the fixed deposits, amount is payable after the maturity date only. In demand deposit, do not carry interest. Demand deposits are the current account holders, those who are having current account, and on the current account banks never give any rate of interest. Rather, depositor give the amount, some amount for the services that is hired from the banks. In the fixed deposits, we carry fixed rate of interest. Demand deposits are highly liquid, fixed deposits are less liquid. Demand deposits, checkable deposits, and in the fixed deposits no check facility is there. People wish to deposit their surplus funds in banks because of the following reasons. First one is to earn interest on their deposits. Second one is their money are in safe hands, and third one is to withdraw their money as and when it is required. Advancing loans. Commercial banks also advance loans to the firms and the households for the production purposes or for the productive purposes. Lending money is another primary function of the commercial banks. This is in fact main source of their income. Commercial banks offer loans to firms and households and thereby earn interest. When the commercial banks lend to the borrowers, either to the firms or the household, they charge a high rate of interest in order to earn profit. But when the firms or the household deposit their money to the banks in a savings account or in a fixed deposits, commercial banks give them lesser rate of interest. A certain proportion of the deposits received by the banks is kept as a reserve and rest is given as loan. Suppose the total deposits with the commercial banks, that is rupees 10,000, and the cash reserve ratio that is set by the Reserve Bank of India, it is 4%. So for the total deposits of 1,000, the commercial bank will set 40 rupees with the Reserve Bank of India and 960 rupees will use for the creation of credit. Creation of credit means it can use it for the lending purposes to the firms or the household. Banks give loans mostly for the productive purposes on approved securities. On approved securities means for while giving the lending to the firms or the household or the firms can take loan against the some securities. The amount of loan remains less than the value of security. Suppose the security value of the household against which it has to take loan, that is rupees 10,000, but the bank will keep 20% with it and rest it will give to the 8,000 loan to the household. The difference is called this 20% or the 2,000 rupees, that is known as a margin requirement. means the security value should be more than the value of loan. Cash credit. Next one is, under this loan arrangement, eligible borrower is first sanction a credit limit up to which he may borrow from the bank. Suppose I want to borrow from the HDFC bank and my credit limit for borrowing, it is sanctioned up to rupees 10,000. Now the 10,000 rupees by the HDFC bank will be transferred in my account. Now I am free to withdraw this money. I will withdraw the money according to my requirement. Suppose I have withdrawn the amount of 5,000 rupees and 5,000 remains in my account. The bank will charge the interest only on the amount of 5,000 that I have withdrawn. So, under this loan arrangement, eligible borrower is first sanctioned a credit limit up to which he may borrow from the bank. Then the sanctioned amount is credited to the borrower's account. The amount of money to be credited is based on the bank's belief on the financial soundness of the borrower, which is termed as creditworthiness. The borrower is free to use the money as and when he requires it. The unique feature of this kind of money is that the borrower is charged interest only on the amount of money that has been withdrawn and not on the amount that has been sanctioned. So the features of the cash credit, it is a short term advance, usually for the commercial industrial concern. Banks allows to borrow in the form of installment or in lump sum. Pledgeable securities intercept only the amount utilized by the borrower. Demand loan. Demand loans are for the working capital purpose, like purchase of raw materials, making payments of short-term liabilities. So a loan which can be recalled on demand is called demand loan. There is no stated maturity. It is repayable at the short notice, less than 1 year. The entire loan amount is paid in lump sum. Lump sum means in one time by crediting it to the loan account of the borrower. Those like security brokers whose credit needs fluctuate generally take such loan on personal security and financial assets. Types of loans advanced by the banks. First one is term loans. Term loans are taken by the firms to finance working capital, purchase of machinery, land, etc. These loans are extended for a predetermined time period for 3 to 5 years. In this case, the entire sum of borrowed money is given to the borrower in a loan account. Interest is charged on the entire amount of loan that has been given by the bank. Suppose I have taken a loan of rupees 1 lakh from the HDFC bank for the 3 years. The bank will transfer the full amount in my account and will charge the interest on the 1 lakh only, no matter how much of it the borrower has used, whether I will use 25,000 or 7,500 or 75,000, whatever amount I will withdraw from my loan account and use, doesn't matter, but the bank will charge interest on the 1 lakh rupees. Short term loans. Short term loans include personal loans against some collateral securities, like against some registry of the house or from any jewelry or some any valuable assets. Interest is charged on the entire amount of loan credited to the amount of the borrower. Bills of exchange. Discounting of bills exchange means that when the seller exchange a piece of paper with the buyer. Suppose I am a seller and I have sold a furniture worth rupees 9,000 rupees to the another person, and the person who has bought my furniture worth rupees 9,000 will sign the paper and promise to pay the money after 3 months. Such bills of exchange are generally issued for a period of 90 days. This means that creditor cannot get them encashed from the debtor before the maturity period. However, if the creditor needs money, means the seller needs money before the expiry of 90 days of maturity period, he can get it discounted from a commercial bank, HDFC. The bank makes payment to the creditor, that is a seller, after deducting its commission. Suppose the creditor has before the maturity period of 10 days and 10% it is cut as a commission by the HDFC bank, and the rest amount, that will be 8,010 rupees, will be with the seller. When the bill matures, the bank will get payment from the debtor, means buyer. In this way, by discounting bills, the bank pays money to the creditor when he needs it and allows the debtor to make payment only when the bill is due for payment. Investment in securities. Commercial bank invest their surplus funds in 3 types of securities, like government securities, government bonds are there, other approved securities, national saving certificates, Kisan Vikas Patras, like this one. Overdraft. Overdraft is a facility for the current account holders. When the balance in their account it is 0, they are permitted to withdraw money from their account. So under this method, the bank allows its customers to overdraw the money even the account has no or 0 funds in it. Agency functions. Banks also perform some agency functions for and on behalf of their customers. These includes the following. First one is collection and making payments for credit instruments. Like banks collect or make various types of payments on the behalf of their customers, such as insurance premium, pensions, dividend, interest, etc. Next one is sale and purchase of securities. Banks, being more knowledgeable, undertake sale and purchase of various securities like shares, stocks, bonds, debentures, etc. on the behalf of their customers. Trustee and executor. Banks also perform as a trustee and the executor. Banks like preserve the will of their customers and execute after their death. Transfer of funds. Banks help their customers in transferring funds from one place to another through checks or drafts, etc. Like when the students have to pay the fees, they have to transfer the money from their accounts to the school account through checks. In the colleges also there is a use of drafts, etc. to transfer the money from our account, students account, to the college account. On account of their network of branches throughout the country, they can easily provide their remittances, that is transfer of funds facility. General utility function. Locker facility. Banks provide the locker facility to their customer for the safe custody of their jewelry and other valuables. Traveler's check. While doing travel from one place to another, there is a facility of traveler's check with which there is no risk to take the cash with them and during their journey. To travel fearlessly, banks provide travelers checks to their customers. With this facility given to them, they need not to take the risk of taking cash with them during their journey. General utility functions. Underwriting of securities. Banks also underwrite the securities issued by the government or the public or the private bodies. Because of full faith in banks, people do not hesitate in buying those securities which are underwritten by a bank. Collection of statistics. Some banks also publish their journals and bulletins, and they collect the statistical data relating to the trade, commerce and industry rules. General utility functions. Next one is facilitate transportation of goods. Before that, we will discuss the meaning of consignment. Consignment means the transaction of sending goods by one person to another, who is to sell goods on the behalf of the first person. The person who sends the goods is known as consignor, and the person whom the goods are sent is known as consignee. Like I am sending the goods, I am the consignor, and the person whom the goods are sent, I have sent the goods to Sita. So Sita is the consignee. The legal relationship between these two persons is that of the principal and agent. Big businessmen, after consigning goods to their retailers, send the railway receipt, that is consignment note, to the bank. The retailers get this receipt from the bank on payment of the to value the consignment it. After receiving the railway receipt from the bank, they get delivery of the consignment from the railway goods office. In this way, banks help in the transportation of goods. Next one is foreign exchange business. Banks also deal in the foreign exchange business. They may finance the foreign trade by accepting or collecting foreign bills of exchange also. Money or credit creation by the commercial banks. Demand deposits with the banks are regarded as money. They serve as a medium of exchange. They form a significant part of the total money supply in the modern economy. Any changes in the amount of bank deposits obviously imply changes in the supply of money in the economy. Meaning of credit creation. Credit creation means when public deposits their money with the banks, and the banks, after maintaining CRR with the Reserve Bank of India with the rest amount of money, they can create a credit. This becomes possible because deposits are generally not withdrawn in cash. They are only settled through the debit or credit entry in the individual accounts. The power of commercial banks, which enables them to expand their deposits through loans and investments, is called credit creation. Let us understand the credit creation with the help of an example. Suppose bank receive new deposits of rupees 1000. Let the legal reserve ratio be 10%, that is set by the RBI. This means bank keep only 10% of deposits and remaining 900 will used for lending purposes to the firms or the industries or the big companies or the household sector. Banks do not give loan in cash, but rather open an account in the borrower's name. Suppose borrowers withdraw the entire amount of loan and spend it on the purchase of goods and services needed for the consumption and investment. The seller of these goods and services receive rupees 900 and deposit the same in their respective banks. Now the banks get new deposit of rupees 900. They keep 10% of these deposits, that is rupees 90, and again the banks will use rest 810 rupees for lending purposes. the borrower will again or will spend this amount on the purchase of goods and services, and again one new account it will be open with the commercial banks worth rupees 810, and next again the borrower will withdraw the full amount, and after keeping the 10% of 810, that is 81 rupees, deduct and 729 rupees will be used for the lending purposes by the banks. Like this, in each successive round, creation of deposits will be 90% of the previous round. In each round, increase in deposits becomes smaller and smaller till it becomes almost zero. The total deposits will ultimately be of rupees 10,000. Firstly, we have deposited 10,000 and cash reserves it is 100 and loan it is 900. These are deposited with the RBI by the commercial bank, 100 rupees out of 1000, and the commercial bank has used this 900 rupees for the lending purposes. In the second round, again in the economy income it is 900 rupees and it is deposited by the person in the bank, and the bank has kept the 90 rupees as a CRR with the Reserve Bank of India, and 810 rupees it is used by the commercial bank for lending purposes. Suppose the commercial bank is HDFC, and in the third round again 810 rupees by the seller it is deposited in the bank, and again after maintaining the CRR that is of 81 rupees with the RBI by the HDFC bank, 729 rupees HDFC has used for lending purposes. In the same way, when we will get the deposit of 10,000 and cash reserves it is of 1,000 with the RBI and loan it is 9,000 it will be there, then money multiplier that is 10 steps are there. So money multiplier it is 10. The banks now get the new deposits. It is 1 upon LRR. So 1 upon LRR it is 0.10, that is equals to 10. So multiplier R it is 10, and the total demand deposit it is equals to money multiplier multiplied by initial deposit. So our initial deposit was 1,000. 1,000 multiplied by money multiplier that is 10. So total money circulation in the economy it is now from 1,000 to 10,000, means 10 times increased. From the example we observe that the initial deposits were only rupees 1,000, whereas the total money supply in the economy increases by rupees 10,000 in the form of demand deposits. So the value of money multiplier here is 10. In short, credit creation is determined by the amount of initial deposits and the value of LRR. Process of credit creation. Banks create money in the form of demand deposits, that is current deposits. They create deposits in the process of advancing loans to their customers by keeping the CRR with the RBI. Right now 4% CRR it is with the RBI by the commercial banks of their total deposits. They do not keep 100% reserves against deposits in order to meet the depositors' demand. They only keep a small proportion of deposits and rest is given to the needy borrowers. Banks are able to meet the cash requirements of their depositors by keeping a small cash reserves, because all the depositors do not withdraw their money at the same time. This small proportion of total deposits is called legal reserve ratio. Legal reserve ratio is fixed by the central bank. Limitations of the process of credit creation. Following are the important limitations on the part of commercial bank to create credit. Amount of cash. Commercial banks create credit on the basis of total amount of cash in the country. Hence, there should be a largest availability of cash. But the amount of cash that a bank may have is subject to control by central bank. Limitations of the process of credit creation. Currency deposit ratio. The power of commercial bank to create credit also depends upon the ratio of currency held by the public to the holdings of bank deposits. Higher the currency deposit ratio, that is currency held by the public divided by the currency holds by the banks, lower will be the power of banks to create credit. Legal reserve ratio. Another important limitation is the legal reserve ratio. As the credit potential is inversely related to the reserve ratio, money multiplier it is equals to 1 upon LRR. The higher the LRR, the lower will be the proportion of excess funds and lesser is the quantum of money creation. Means if there is higher reserve ratio, that is CRR or LRR, it is set by the RBI. Right now it is 4%. If suppose it is increased from 4% to 6%, then suppose the total deposits with the commercial banks it is rupees 1000. So out of 1000, 6%, that is 60 rupees, commercial banks have to deposit to the Reserve Bank of India, and rest 940 rupees they can use for the lending purposes. So lesser money in the hands of the commercial banks means they can create less money, or they can offer lesser lendings to the firms or the industries or households. Although the commercial banks do not issue notes, why they are called producers or the creators of the money? Why so? In India, currency notes it is only issued by Reserve Bank of India and the central government. There are two producers of the money. Commercial bank do not produce money, but they create the credit by advancing the deposits by the public to the firms by charging high-fi rate of interest and earn the profit, and in this way they create the credit in the economy. They do not print money. Commercial banks are not having right to print the money. There is a monopoly right to the RBI to print the money. The commercial banks create money on the basis of demand deposits. Thus, they expanding their demand deposits, that is current account deposits, in the process of making loans. They contribute to the country's supply of money. It is due to this reason that commercial banks are called creators of money. They are not the having any right to print the money. Total deposits of banks are multiples of their cash reserves. So students, hope you have understood the different functions of the commercial banks. Now it's time to note down the homework. First question is, define the following terms: check, overdraft, recurring deposit, fixed deposit, debentures. Question number 2 is, write the functions of commercial banks. Question number 3 is, what is meant by credit creation? Question number 4 is, although commercial banks do not issue notes, they are called producers or the creators of money supply. Why so? And students, please go through the links on the YouTube for more clarity, and hope you all will write the notes for the related topics for better learning. Thank you students for listening.